Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Joey Moss with Bad Boy Gaming. A quick reminder, a great way to support the channel for absolutely free. Simply subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you who do watch. Also hitting the like button. It does help out a lot. Before we get into this, I just want you to know we got a lot of spoilers ahead of us. Ravnica Allegiance is simply right around the corner, just a few weeks away. And we are about 57% through of all the rares and mythics that have been spoiled. That's right. Let's get into this. Mesmerizing Benthid. I'm not sure what's going on with that artwork there. It looks really cool though, no doubt about it. I like my blues and blacks and all that stuff that blends together. It looks neat. It's a 5-drop. The good old Octopus, Mythic. When Mesmerizing Benthid enters the battlefield, create 2/0/2 blue illusion creature tokens with, whenever this creature blocks a creature, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next tap step. That's pretty neat. It's going to force your opponent to be a little hesitant. It's just another method of control. And it was given to us by an octopus. Mesmerizing Benthid has hexproof as long as you control an illusion. So you're going to want those illusions on the battlefield. What's cool about that? Jace Cunning Castaway. This clever young chap maybe finally found a partner. I don't know. Will they blend well together? Possibly hang out, have some drinks. Who knows? One, maybe two of in a control deck. I was thinking. Jace Cunning Castaway. Again, what it does: whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player that turn, draw a card, then discard a card. For -2, create a 2/2 blue illusion creature token with whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it. So I guess that's kind of the big perk. Also, create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace Cunning Castaway, except they are not legendary. Yeah, you could just get a nutty, ridiculous, and abuse a bunch of tokens, and also using Benthid to protect your Castaway. It's going to be a lot of fun. The only thing it doesn't have is these illusions don't have flying. So any kind of flying threats, but then again, you're playing control, you're probably going to be okay. Next card. Essence Capture. It's a deuce drop. Here's a bunch of new uncommons. Counter target creature spell. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. That's really not too bad, especially because you're countering and the +1/+1 counters on things. As we all know, the Simic Ascendancy is going to be abused, and this is probably going to be one of its partners in crime. Hackrobat. 3-drop. Cool artwork on that. It's like we're looking down her shirt. Inappropriate. Creature Human Rogue. Spectacle. Again, you may cast this spell for its spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. For 1 black mana. Hackrobat. Hackrobat. I said Hackrobat. Hackrobat gains Death Touch until end of turn. The red mana, Hackrobat, gets +2, -2 until end of turn. It's a 2/3. Being able to cast this thing for only 2 mana is pretty legit. And then also being able to kill something off, being able to pump and dump, I mean, that's pretty cool as well. One thing I just want to point out on this channel, when I make mistakes, I don't really go back and delete them. I really don't care. Unless it's at the very beginning of a video, I'll take a couple takes. But this is just running straight through the video. You guys get the real deal here. So if I screw up, we all get to listen to it. Gruul Beastmaster. It's a 4-drop. Creature Human Shaman. It's got that RIOT. Again, this creature enters the battlefield with your choice of a +1/+1 counter or haste. Whenever Gruul Beastmaster attacks another target creature you control, gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is Gruul Beastmaster's power. Deuce. Good old Gruul. Well, in a nutshell, yeah, we're going to see quite a few of these spells played. But how much play will they see? I think Hackrobat's going to see a decent amount. This card, probably more so, it's going to be limited. You know, you're only going to see it at your pre-release and your events and whatnot, you know, from sealed products or whatever. But Essence Capture, we're definitely going to see that main board in quite a few decks. Theater of Horrors. Sweet artwork on this. I do like the artwork on this set. It's very chaotic carnival type style. Jester, Cap, what happened to you? Very neat. This card is amazing. It's going to go well, blend well with Experimental Frenzy over here. A lot of people tend to get stuck with an Experimental Frenzy in their hand. Or not in their hand, but they get 2 of them. When you have 2 of them, it doesn't really matter. No one cares if you have 2 of them. You really care if you have 2 of them because you don't want to have 2 of them. So maybe we'll see Experimental Frenzy as 3 of, and we'll see Theater of Horrors as a 4 of, maybe 3 of, maybe a 3 and 3. Let's just talk about what it does. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, you may play cards exiled with Theater of Horrors. For 4, Theater of Horrors deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Interesting little perk they threw on that card. Theater of Horrors deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. So, I mean, essentially, you can do that, deal your 1 damage, and then you can use its ability. During your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, well, he definitely did if you dealt 1 damage to him. You may play cards exiled with Theater of Horrors. Experimental Frenzy, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play the top card of your library. You can't play cards from your hand. So what does this all mean? They're just going to synchronize very well together, like they're swimmers in a pool, and they're going to win the Olympic gold medal. These 2 cards blend together very nicely. I expect to see them in a lot of builds. When you see this deck, I would watch out because you're able to go through top decking your library until you get the card you would like to play. It's phenomenal the way they sync up together. The Old Engineer, it's a 3-drop. Vidalcan, creature. Vidalcan something. There might be a Vidalcan wizard. We're not really certain yet. It could be Vidalcan human, although it doesn't look like a human. It looks like he has some fish lips going on there. What are you going to do? What can he do by turn 3, you ask? Well, it's simple. I don't even need to read this one. You tap it, you add 2 mana to your mana pool. 1 would be green, 1 would be blue. It's a 1/1. Easy to remove. This is true. But what can we do by turn 3 with this card? Turn 1, we drop our Lana Wars in German. Turn 2, we drop our Engineer. Turn 3, we bang out our Carnage Tyrant. That's right. Then we have, on turn 3, a 7/6. That's sick. In a control build, you bet this will be used. The only thing is keeping your Lana War and your Engineer on the battlefield long enough to actually drop the Tyrant. But it can be done, and I'm sure we will see some gameplay of that soon. Galloping Lizrod. Here's a few more uncommons. Pretty cool. For 5, it's a frog lizard. Look at what do you call that? What is that thing hanging from his mouth? What do you call that thing? A gullet? I don't know. There's a name for it, I'm sure. It's a frog lizard uncommon with trample, 3/3. When Galloping Lizrod enters the battlefield, you may remove any number of +1/+1 counters from among creatures you control. If you do, put twice that many +1/+1 counters on Galloping Lizrod. So you can make this thing pretty darn huge in your old Simic Ascendancy deck. Simic's going to be nuts this time around. Blue and green, you guys are going to have a lot of fun. If you guys, what's your favorite guild? I got to ask you guys right now, what's your favorite guild? I want to take a vote here. Let's vote. Just let me know. Lay it on me. I'd say I enjoy Groll. I enjoy the green and red, but I want to hear from you guys as well. In the middle here, we have a Gobbo. Good old Goblin Berserker. It's a riot. This creature enters the battlefield with your choice of a +1/+1 counter or haste. It's a deuce. Very simple, very basic, but pretty cool. Definitely limited that you have a choice. Only a deuce. Nothing spectacular, honestly. Will it see play? Probably limited. Syndicate Guildmage. Deuce drop for 2. Tap target creature with power 4 or greater. Oh, that's cool. 4/5. Tap it, Syndicate Guildmage deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. I like that we can do some damage to planeswalkers. Let me tell you. There's quite a few cards now that I've come across that are going to be able to beat up some planeswalkers. Does that mean that these planeswalkers, these 3-drops, are going to be more powerful than we expected? I'm not sure. We're going to find out very soon, though. But this is another color combination I'm very excited for. Was that Orzhov? Really excited for that. United Stand. This was all in Japanese. I changed the text on it. It's a 3-drop instant rare. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. With addendum, if you cast a spell during your main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures. And they gain vigilance until end of turn. Sure, you're going to see, this will see play, 100%. How much, I don't know, maybe 2 of. If this thing really gets a 4 of, I mean, I can actually see it being abused, a 4 of in a deck. But that's the only kind of perk you're going to be running. You know, your only kind of boost or ramping to get, make your creatures 3/3s, 4/4s, 5/5s. The only kind of pump spell, you might only see that. But being able to splash +1/+1 counters on all your creatures if you cast it during your main phase, and they're gaining vigilance, and they're indestructible, that's pretty stupid. And you can combo that, with something else where after this turn, there's an additional turn where all your creatures get indestructible, and there's another combat phase. What is that card called? Can't think off the top of my head. Someone help me out here, though. It's red and white and one colorless. It's pretty nifty, though. But this will definitely be a threat. United Stand's a pretty cool card. Trollbred Guardian on your far left here is a 5-drop creature. Trog. We're going to call it a Trog Warrior. Forget Troll and Frog. Joey Moss just made Trog. Welcome to Trog Creatures. It has the Adapt 2 for 3. If this creature has no +1/+1 counters on it, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has Trample. Not bad. You're giving all your things Trample if it has a +1/+1 counter on it. There's another card that does the exact same thing. It's more powerful, though, and I don't believe it gives +1/+1 counters. I think you have to have him on it. So, sure, whatever I said there. It's a 5/5. His favorite food is crawl. I'd like to see him eat a crawl. I think that'd be pretty cool. That's a fish, right? All right. Skatewing Spy is a 4-drop. Vidalcan Rogue Mutant for 6. Adapt for Deuce. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has flying. I like that. I really do like the whole adaptability. It's almost like Slivers, kind of, in a nutshell. Like, all these neat little tricks, although Slivers, I'm sure, there's a much more broad range of abilities you can have with them. But this is kind of teetering towards that in a sense. Only you have to, do the adapt and the +1/+1 counter thing, and et cetera, et cetera. There's some stipulations involved. I still want to see Slivers return. Please, Wizards, give us Slivers back in 2019. Combined Guildmage. It's a Deuce drop. Creature, Merfolk Wizard. For Deuce, this turn, each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. For Deuce, move a +1/+1 counter from target creature you control onto another target creature you control. I can't wait. Merfolks, please. Merfolk Wizard builds, or a Merfolk deck alone, or a Wizard deck alone. I can see making the top 8 this time around. We didn't see much of that. I think it might have happened a few times, but seldom seen in recent history. Another one I'm hoping for is Elves. But right now, Merfolks and Wizards, man, they're looking pretty strong. Kaya's Wrath. Holy crap. We got a Wrath of Goddamn Nation written all over this nation. It's a 4-drop. Destroy. It's a sorcery, though. Destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you controlled that were destroyed this way. Find this in your token builds. Find it all that goodness. But where is this going to fit in? This card is nuts. I mean, it's a 4-drop Wrath of God. It's a joke we have. It doesn't, of course, to destroy all creatures, that applies. They can't be regenerated. Switch that ability with the other ability. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you control that were destroyed this way. So, yeah, they can be regenerated still. Although there's no regeneration. We haven't seen regeneration in quite some time. At least the words on the card, verbatim in text, regenerate. Will they bring regeneration back? That's another great question. I doubt it, though. Where can we find this card? I'll tell you where. Afterlife. Anything with Afterlife, you're going to find this card. It's going to fit in nicely with that build. The Old Taker, with the Afterlife 1, Afterlife again, when this creature dies, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. You have the Scales, which is going to be a really powerful card. It's a mythic. And then a new one we got today, Ministrant of Obligation, Afterlife for 2. It's a Deuce 1 just with Afterlife for 2. So when this creature dies, you're going to create 2 1/1 white and black spirit creature tokens with flying. I can't wait to see what the new spirit creature token looks like as well, because it's black and white. I think there's only been 1 or 2 so far, so this is going to be pretty cool to check out. Drill Bit, got some more uncommons for you. It's a 3-drop with Spectacle. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. So, in a sense, we do have a Thoughtseize, a weakened Thoughtseize, because you have to have the Spectacle ability. Can you turn 1 this? Probably not. I don't know how you're going to make your opponent lose life turn 1 with the Spectacle. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. But it's a really cool card, though. Sphinx of New Prov. It's a 4-drop Sphinx. I like seeing these 4-drop Sphinxes. I really do. Although I find Sphinxes to be hideous and ugly and just ugh, they are unique creatures and they deserve to be loved as well. It has Flying and Vigilance. Spells your opponents cast that target Sphinx of New Prov costs 2 more to cast. Not terrible. It's going to see some play. The only problem is it is a 3-drop again. So they would have to pay like 4 with a Lightning Strike or something like that, or a Lava Coil to take this sucker out. Nonetheless, yeah, it could be pretty strong. 4/3, 4-drop, get it on turn 4. We'll see. Solana Wayfinder. It's a deuce drop. Elf Scout. When Solana Wayfinder enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it on top of your library. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I think it's okay. It's almost like a Scry 4, basically, is what you're doing with Wayfinder in a sense. I don't like that we're putting it on top of our library. I mean, I wish we could just put it into our hand. Well, I guess if you put it into your hand, it'd be pretty darn broken, wouldn't it? And this thing should be like a mythic. They could have made it a mythic. Why the heck not? Wizards, next time, make that kind of card a mythic. Domri Chaos Bringer. We have arrived to the new Domri. Legendary Planeswalker. Add a red or green mana. If the mana is spent on a creature spell, it gains Riot. Again, with Riot, it's a +1/+1 counter on target creature, or it gains haste. -3 is the ability you're really looking to use and abuse here. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2, not 1, 2, different from Vivian, target creature cards from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And also it's -3, not +1, like Vivian. It's -8. You get an emblem with. This is very underwhelming. Who cares? Well, that's a pretty cool card. At the beginning of each end step, create a 4/4 red and green beast creature token with trample. It's just whatever. It's something. You get a free creature every single turn. I guess that's not terrible. The good news is he starts with 5 loyalty counters on him. That's pretty strong. We don't see that quite too often. Its -3 is its best ability, and its ultimate is pathetic. But, Domri, we'll see what you do. Currently, he's going for $16 already. Expect that price to drop. Do not pay $16 for that card. Cry of the Carnarium, 3-drop. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Exile all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. If a creature would die this turn, exile instead. Not bad. That's probably going to see some play. Angelic Exaltation. Exaltation. I can't talk today. I swear having braces messes everything up. For 4, enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Hence the Exaltation. Remember the Exalt ability? Whenever a creature attacks alone, yeah, the old +1/+1. Good stuff, good stuff. Well, it's very similar to that one. Only it's an enchantment and sticks around. Biogenic Upgrade. It's a 6-drop sorcery. Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures, then double the number of +1/+1 counters on each of those creatures. We've seen similar cards. It's huge. It's going to be a bomb and limited, but it's probably not going to see much play in anything competitive whatsoever. Nikia of the Old Ways. It's a 5-drop, or the Old Road, one of the two. Legendary creature, Centaur or Druid. You can't cast non-creature spells. Yeah, that's right. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of any type that land produced. 5-drop. It's legendary. 5/5. I think it's a pretty cool card. The fact that if you're going the entire route of just ramping up, we need to have some very powerful red creature spells. That's what this is telling me. Because otherwise, what are we doing with this card in our hand? Red, we know, is known for instance sorceries, like mostly instant, very, very quick, very fast to attack, or to do some instant damage. So I don't know how that's going to fit in, but it will see some play in Standard. Probably not a whole ton, maybe a 1 or 2 of. In Commander, it's probably going to be $1,000. No, it's never going to see Commander play. I'm sorry. No one's going to run this Commander. There's just, no, it's not going to see Commander play. But cheating creatures into play is definitely fun, and it's got a nice body with the 5/5. I do like that it has 5 toughness. It could have made this thing bigger or given it a trample or something. I think trample would have made it a little bit more playable, but, they're missing out something on this card. Am I wrong about this? I don't know. This is one of my favorite, this is my favorite guild, so I'm just saying, if that's my opinion on it, I don't know. I gotta hear your guys's. Verity Circle. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it's being declared as an attacker, you may draw a card. For 5, tap target creature without flying. It's an enchantment. Convoke hate? Absolutely. Whenever people convoke stuff, you're just going to draw a bunch of cards. Mana Dork hate? Absolutely. If they want to tap their Llanowar Elves, I'm sorry, I will be drawing a card for that. That is very disruptive. We're going to see this thing in a lot of sideboards. I don't know about if it's going to be main boarded too often. I mean, it can be, but why would you do that? If you're not convoking something, you're just basically getting the ability to pay 5, tap target creature without flying. And that's pretty trashy on its own. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Today was a little bit more mixed up. I thought I'd be a little more silly and have some fun with the cards. I did enjoy a lot of these spoilers. I'm still hoping to see a more powerful dragon than the one we already saw. I highly doubt it, but I think in the next couple sets we're going to see our actual big Billy badass mythic dragon, or just, maybe rare. Definitely, if you enjoy this kind of content, please by all means hit that like button. And also, be subscribed to the channel. If you hit the bell, you're the first one to get notifications when a new video drops on Bad Boy Gaming. We did drop a video earlier today. It was nuts. It was a hacked edition booster box. If you haven't seen that, trust me, it is well worth seeing. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. I'm Joey Moss of Bad Boy Gaming. We will be live on Twitch tonight. I think I'll be bringing my girlfriend on Twitch tonight. So make sure you tune into that. Link in the description of every video. As always, have a good day.